Hello, Black Healing Matters family. This is Danielle here at the Black Healing Matters podcast, where we offer you ideas to hopefully move you one step closer to your healing. And today is no different. Happy Monday to you. Yes, I believe in happy Mondays because happy Mondays lead to better Tuesdays lead to better Wednesdays, and of course, after Wednesday, week just slides on by. And so I wish you a happy Monday, my people. I'm so glad to be here with you. And more importantly, I'm glad that you are here and ready for yet another Mental Health Monday. And so today on this Mental Health Monday, I was thinking about a topic that, I should back up. I try to keep Mental Health Mondays very informative and very strategically, specifically talking about mental health strategies. Today, I'm going to play a video for you that I found on YouTube, and it talks about the very specific nature of the mental health issues in the Black community and how they differ from the major society at large. And what struck me about this video, I think what the man said when he's talking, he's very, very informative, and in my opinion, I think that based on the fact that we have actually talked about some of the concepts that he's talking about in this video, that there's nothing wildly or absurdly false about what he's talking about what he's saying. But what's very interesting about it is the comments. The comments. The title of the video is that Black mental health isn't the same as white mental health. And so here at Black Healing Matters, I think we can easily agree with that. But what's interesting is that the video itself this is on YouTube, it got 641 likes, which is thumbs up, and over 1,000 thumbs down. So that tells me really that in facing mental health issues, particularly for Black people, that there is quite obviously an insensitivity towards the particular issues facing Black people when it comes to their mental health and their treatment. This is alarming. Obviously, this is not a good thing, but it's not a surprise. And so I'm going to play that video for you. But before I do, I want to tell you very clearly, I want to be very candid with you and Black Healing Matters family, and let you know that our mental health is our responsibility, and that no one has the right to discount that. After reading some of the comments, it was very clear to me, though, that our mental health, our particular issues as vestiges of our history, are largely discounted and marginalized and made to seem as though we're just like everybody else, when in fact we're not anything like everybody else. And that's why America loves us so much. Well, they love us enough to package up our culture and export it. But that's the truth. And so I'm telling you this as encouragement to you. Be strong, and not just, strong in, courageous and not showing your weakness. To me, that is not the strength. What I'm saying is be strong in knowing that who you are and your particular wounds are unique. We have a unique history as Black people, and therefore it is inevitable that we have a unique pathology when it comes to our mental health and any issues that may come along with it. Now, if you disagree with me, I'm perfectly okay with that too. Just, leave a comment, send me an email, leave a call in. That's okay. And I'm open to that. But I think it's very important that we protect ourselves and not fall into this trap of a narrative that says that we should just be like everybody else and just forget about history and forget about the past and forget about the things that happened to us that still affect us very much so to this day. Just as the good things that happen in history for white people, Europeans of European descent in this nation, also are still affecting them. They're still receiving the benefits of those things to this day. Yeah. So, hope you enjoyed this video. And again, please leave me a comment, leave me a call in, or send me an email to let me know if you agree with this or not. Nonetheless, I do believe that the tips that he offers are valid, in particular with the church, the Black church. But I'll take it a step farther and say again, my number one tip for you, Black Healing Matters family, today is really to acknowledge and respect your difference. And that our difference is not weakness. Our difference is not something to be ashamed of. That it simply is. And that we own it. That it's ours. And nobody can wish that away. No one can philosophize that away. It happened, and we're living proof of it. As always, fam, I love you. Stay blessed. Black Healing Matters.
When you look at the historical experience of African Americans in the United States, you have to start with the experience of slavery and the vestiges of slavery in terms of the trauma associated with it. And I think that, blacks continue to experience trauma in certain ways, and certainly with respect to those who live in urban communities that are infested with drugs or that are particularly violent. Those are traumatic situations that they experience on a daily basis. Certainly, as we've seen in recent events, interactions with the police can be, again, particularly traumatic. So when you talk about mental illness in the Black community, I think you have to begin with the experience of trauma and how trauma continues to abound in their experiences and in their daily lives. I think that what happens for a lot of individuals is that they suffer in silence with respect to having a mental illness. And so what I mean by that, in the greater society, there's certainly a lot of stigma associated with mental illness. It's sort of antithetical to the American ethic, which is to, be strong and courageous, to pull yourself up by the bootstrap, to weather the storm, etc. I think the second part of that, point is what's happening at the community level or the society level. And I think what happens is that within the Black community, I think that, again, that ethic about what it means to be strong and courageous is particularly pronounced because of trying to, combat those forces like discrimination or racism. And, it just adds to the burden of, sort of what it means to survive. And so then the person who's struggling with the mental illness is perhaps not embraced or, warmly accepted because of their struggles. I remember as a young person growing up, I used to hear about the person who was quote unquote sent down south. I used to wonder what that meant, and it wasn't until I got older that I became more knowledgeable of the fact that that person was struggling with a mental illness or perhaps substance abuse. From a historical perspective, there's been a lot of emphasis in the black community, particularly in black families, on keeping your problems close to the vest in the home. You don't share what's going on with outsiders. No one can treat you as best as your family can. You bring all your burdens and your problems to your family. And if you do take it to any entity outside of your family, it's the black church. The church is really important in the black community. Make no mistake about it. It's a source of, sort of salvation and healing, and there's the whole collective support from, you get from your fellow churchgoers and that sort of thing. But I think also what has historically happened is that the church has been defined as the place to, sort of relieve your symptoms or to address your burdens, and so it stops there. And what I think needs to happen is that, first of all, I think pastors and lay ministers can be more trained in the signs and presentations of mental illness, but I think that the church could be sort of a triage unit, if you will, such that it identifies those who have needs, and it's that sort of first step and the sort of entree into care, but it shouldn't stop there. I believe that culturally competent care is critical to everything. If patients perceive that providers are inauthentic and do not care about their unique circumstances, then they're likely to be turned off. At a baseline, providers should understand the history of their neighborhoods, for example, or the history of the experience of African Americans and Latinos, such that they can put the clinical presentation into context and understand what unique factors are in play with respect to the clinical presentation and how that person is seeking to, survive and live in the world as an African American or a Latino. And so I think that the onus is on the provider to understand that context and to understand what it means for that person to live in that context.
Hello, Danielle. This is Stormy. I hope that you're having a really good Monday. I wanted to comment on your mental health Monday segment. And I completely agree with you that the status of Black mental health is completely different from other nationalities, and just how we can have heart disease, and we're more at risk for diabetes. Those are all illnesses just as well as mental health is. And I think that the simple fact that we kind of make it worse on ourselves just because we don't talk about mental status, and we don't talk about, hey, Auntie Mary, she's not doing well. We kind of just brush it under the table, like the guy was saying on the video, and just how we're supposed to just go to the church with our needs if we actually go outside of our family. And then there's, mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse that happens that we also put under the rug, that have happened from our grandparents, our uncles, our cousins, and things of that nature. So I completely agree. This was a really good segment. And thanks for opening the floor for us to weigh in.
Hi, Black Healing Matters. That honesty thing here. I just wanted to say thank you so much for creating this platform and just having this station. As many of us know, mental health in general can be taboo in the Black community. of all, walks of the diaspora. So just thank you so much for creating a safe and informative space for people, because it's important. And I'm glad that our community is waking up and acknowledging how important our health, mental health, emotional health is. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited to catch up on episodes I've missed as I'm new to Anchor. But again, just thank you so much and take care. Sincerely, That Honesty Thing.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.